So, turns out I wasn't sad, I just really hated winter and I needed spring ASAP. Because spring is here, it is 27 degrees today and I am living my best life. And not just me, my plants are also starting to wake up again. And in today's video I want to show you all of my beautiful spring growth. Hey everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm enjoying the beautiful spring sun. It is officially spring in Australia and it has started off very strong. It is 27 degrees right now and this is the forecast for the next couple of days. So very good. Apparently it's going to go back down to 9 and 8 degrees next week during the night, but we're going up to 29, 28 consistently, so happy days. Actually, I found this really funny meme the other day. Let me find it. Yeah, the seasons in Australia explained. I'll pop it on screen over here. We are currently at the spring of deception, so it can get really nice and warm during the day, and especially when you're in the sun, it is just beautiful, but it can still be cold, so it kind of false alarm. Hence, I'm being still patient with the plants in my garden. I actually think there's a little bit of winter damage that I'm yet to see, but plants are very smart. My plants have noticed that it is spring and I've been rewarded with lots and lots of new growth, and that's really what I want to show you today. I just want to have a quick browse through my collection and show you all of the exciting spring growth that I have noticed over the last couple of weeks. I do want to give you a quick pan through the garden though while we're here. The wall of aeroids is looking okay. It's kind of hard to film against the sun. There's actually new growth on my dubia here, but look how embarrassingly small this new growth is. But that's okay, at least there is growth. And I just moved my Steiermarkii out here. I reckon it will love it. But not too much growth actually happening outside. There is one new leaf on my banana over here. Noise. I can see lots of new growth on my bromeliad. My marchianum is actually doing quite well. I've got some new growth coming out here. But really, most excitingly, I've got some new shoots coming out of my Canna Cleopatra. And my Canna Stuttgart is also coming back to life after dormancy during winter, so that is very good news. Also, this is Euphorbia. Look at these cute little flowers that it has, so that's also very happy at the moment. Very quick browse through the greenhouse. There are new pitchers forming over here. Finally, it hasn't formed a pitcher in a while, but heaps of new leaf growth. So hopefully they all start showing some pitches. I don't know, I can only see one so far. Yeah, the old ones are all cactus. Same over here, lots of new leaf growth, and I hope these pitches will inflate. These leaves over here on my begonia are both new. Apart from that, I haven't seen all too much nice growth in the greenhouse. So let's just close that door so it can heat up inside. And stay patient. Alrighty, this is my Oxalis triangularis. Now it has seen lusher days, but this was an empty pot 2 months ago. So this has all grown over winter actually. And I am planning on a specific video about this plant. My El Salvador is growing like crazy. There's a growth point here, there's growth points here. I chopped one off the other day. So in here, but this plant urgently needs a repot, so that's actually on the agenda very soon. But yes, it is growing. My Adansonii is growing over here as well. 2 new shoots, very happy about that. The Mangela is growing a new leaf as well. It is much smaller, but it also had a chop, so that's all good. I'm just hoping that subsequent leaves thereafter should go back to being nice and large. My Aglaonema pictum tricolor has actually grown really well over all of winter, but it also has recently given me 2 new leaves, this one and this one, looking really lush. The best it's ever looked, to be honest. Very happy with that. My Philodendron Cheronii is also giving me a new leaf. Happy days. And I will move this plant back into the greenhouse very shortly. My Sodiroy is also growing a new leaf over here. Happy days. My lush pot of crystallinum hybrids is growing heaps of new leaves. All of these ones are new. Let's see, new leaf here, new leaf here, new leaf here. This is new, this is new, this is new, this is new, this is new. I think this one is new as well. So lots and lots of new leaves coming out over here. Looking really lush. I probably have to start separating out a few plants again, but for now it's looking really nice. Alrighty. Over here I've got my Alocasia. It's Gagaena. It's growing a new leaf over here, and I love that when the leaf is still new, it's kind of like lime green on dark green variegation, and then over time it will fade to yellow. Very excited for this one. And over here my Odora Batik is growing a new leaf as well. Alrighty, moving through to the wall of poles. I've got a new growth point here. I've got a new growth point down here. I've got a new leaf about to unfurl here. And I think this one is also fairly newish. Is it? No. No, this one is fairly newish. Sorry, this one over here. My big mother plant is also growing a huge Cataphil over here. My Glorious has pushed out a tiny leaf over here. It's the first one post-chop. And the other Glorious is pushing out a big leaf over here. So I need to move this towards the light a little bit, I reckon. This one is the newest Milano growth. Absolutely stunning. I do want to make a full video on just Milano soon. Soonish. Give it a couple more leaves, please. My Splendid is growing a big new leaf over here, huge. Happy, happy days. My Vitarifolium hasn't given me all too much leaf growth, but I can see lots of inflows. It also means it must be happy. Let's have a quick look inside the cabinet. A new leaf on my Queen and Magnificum Forgetii hybrid. A new leaf on my Patriciae about to unfold over here, or unfurl. This was the newest leaf on my Titanium, and there's already the next one pushing out over here. Happy, happy days. Lots of growth on my Obliqua over here and here. And this is the newest growth on my Billy Vercosum hybrid. Alrighty, I'll close this again. Oh, by the way, the temperature has gone up, but the humidity has dropped. It is 56, 57 now because I've got so many moss poles in here. But the humidity outside today is actually 25. So no, Sydney is not always tropical. In winter, because we get a lot of rain and it's cold, the humidity is relatively high. But in summer, when it's especially when there's westerly winds coming from the middle of the country, it's very dry. So 25% humidity today, very, very dry. So I'm trying to keep my windows closed actually to keep the humidity up, but at the same time closing the windows then also keeps the warm air out. It's actually much cooler inside my house than this is outside without air conditioning. Anyway, over here, newest growth on my El Choco, and it is a thick Cataphil, following this beautiful leaf that it gave me over winter. Very excited. Talking about thick Cataphil, this is the thick Cataphil that my Rugosum is growing right now. I mean, what the hell, this is huge. It's unfortunately just a slightly ugly plant. You win some, you lose some, right? Next to it, we've got my variegated Adansonii. It's also growing a new leaf over here. Very happy with that. My Escalado has grown its first leaf in ages. So this just finished unfurling, and it has not grown a leaf in, I think, 6 or 7 months before that. But there's also nice root growth in the pole. Hang on. This one I need to take out of its pot. This is my Philodendron esmeraldense. Also grew a first new leaf in ages. And there's a second shoot here that is also growing a new leaf. By the way, yes, I upgraded my editing station, bought a new Mac, and of course I bought it in green. My Indonesian marble is growing a new leaf here. This is its newest leaf, and there's a new one pushing out here. So also waking up. And let me take this out as well. And this is my Jose Bono, who has also grown its first leaf in ages. First one all winter long, and it just started pushing out over the last couple of weeks. Look at the aerial roots over here, new shoot activating here, and it's now also growing via cataphyll going forward. So you can see over here, it was still growing from the petiole, and now it's going to grow via cataphyll. Happy days. So I hope this is going to explode over summer. Alrighty, and let's quickly move upstairs to my Anthuriums. I'm filming a time lapse over there. I cannot touch the time lapse. I'm trying to film everything from a little further away. I hope it's going to be fine. Oh, by the way, in here I have had my window open all day. 42, now 43% humidity. So humidity is actually much better during winter. Another Billy Coisum over here, newest leaf, looking amazing and already growing via cataphyll. Newest leaf on my queen, happy days. But what I've noticed with most of my Anthuriums, they are just growing inflows very, very prolifically. A new shoot coming out here. Over here, a new inflow growing as well, and a new leaf. I hope you can see that. New inflow and leaf, and new root growth. Then here, new growth on this plant as well. New leaf. There is a new leaf here. It is a little bit manky, but that's okay. This plant hasn't had the best time in a while, but at least it's finally showing signs of growth again. A new leaf over here, that's the one I'm doing the time lapse for. And look at this big inflow that it has grown. That's my puppy hybrid over here. I had a new leaf on my Veitchii, a little bit deformed, but again, that's okay. I'm not mad at it. At least it is growing. This one is a Forgetii magnificum hybrid, and I took this inside. It was in my greenhouse. I took it inside at the beginning of winter, and it hasn't done a single thing all winter long. And now there's a big inflow coming and two big new shoots over here for two new leaves. There's basically the plant has two shoots, the main one, and then it just gave me a little pup. And both are growing a big leaf. So I'm very excited. Twice the impact, right? And a new thick shoot coming through over here as well. But overall, very happy with my Anthuriums. And I actually don't want to cut any of the inflows at the moment because I would like to try and make another hybrid. I haven't hybridized any of my Anthuriums in almost 2, maybe 3 years now. So I think maybe it's time to try again. And I really want to try crossing this dark hybrid over here, the puppy hybrid, this one, with my queen. If it works. We'll find out, but I'm just going to keep all the inflows on here for now so that I have options. And that is it. I just wanted to keep it really short and sharp. I'm just over the moon with spring. It really makes such a big difference to my mental health, and seeing all of these new shoots popping up left, right and center really makes me excited about my planty hobby again. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy plants year round, but during the cooler season, and yes, the cooler season is fairly mild in Sydney, and yes, indoors we're not experiencing the cooler season to the full extent, but still, like, the lack of growth or more leaves going yellow and dying, the new leaves growing, isn't the nicest part of the hobby, especially if you consider that I do this professionally as well, right? So that makes me then sometimes feel a little bit shitty about myself as a hobbyist and as a professional. But then, you know, spring comes around and turns out had nothing to do with me. It was actually just conditions that made all the difference. To my fellow Australians and anybody else in the Southern Hemisphere, happy spring. Make the best out of the growing season. Enjoy the next 9 months or so. they're going to be amazing. Lots of work heading our way, you know, I mean, I have a lot of spring repotting and spring cleaning and so on planned, so lots and lots of spring content coming for you. And to everybody in the northern hemisphere, I hope winter will be okay on you and your plants and you won't be suffering too much. And if you are getting a little bit demotivated and so on, just remember that it's probably all just seasonal and better times will come. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and leave a nice comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye.